All right. Hello there. So, my name is Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, depending which platform you are checking this out from. Just a little crash course as to what's going on today, the type of content that I create. I am creator over at Nifty Business. I create Web3 content primarily associated with NFTs. And if you've ever heard that term and you're not familiar what that means or whatever it is, so I'll put together a little crash course, a little presentation. And long story short, I did a presentation last week on the University of Technology, Jamaica, and this is the second largest university over here on the island of Jamaica, but also the largest tech institution on the island. And we did this little presentation just really introducing faculty and staff to what was happening in Web3. And I decided, you know what, this was just so great. I'll just stream it, put it online, put it on my profiles and what have you. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But again, my name is Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, as I said, depending which platform you're on. But this little presentation I'm going to go to right now is all about that, just a little crash course, whet your appetite, if you will, to show you what's going on in this space. And I have entitled it called NFT 101, and keeping it very simple, very introductory, high level overview. And just so you know, we're going to cover certain things, but primarily we're going to have to go Web3. Web3 is a catch-all phrase that we use for blockchain technology, and that really incorporates cryptocurrencies, stocks that's associated with anything tied to the blockchain. And of course, social tokens, the metaverse, NFTs. Now we're talking about ETFs and various different things, but not overcomplicating it. But Bitcoin, you cannot have this conversation without speaking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it sounds like new technology at this point, but it has been around since 2009. We have to have that one in the conversation simply because it was the first publicly available blockchain that was there available for everyone and still lasting till today. Give you an idea how long this has been. 2007 is when the iPhone came out. Android 2008, 2009 is when Bitcoin came out. And the other day, we're having this workshop over in Negril, Jamaica as well. And Donald Porter, the founder of Carib DAO, pointed out that there are children in high school that have never lived in the world of Bitcoin. So although we talk about it, if this is new technology, technically it is not. So this presentation is for you if you have never heard about NFTs, Web3, anything of that nature, or if you're someone who is curious about NFTs, wondering what's going on here, what's all the hype, or if you are someone that has heard about it and is just very skeptical, you think it's all scam or whatever it might be, I'm going to dive into that because obviously I would not dedicate my time, energy, and put so much into this space if it was all a big scam. So first and foremost, what is an NFT? Non-fungible token, and simply put, it is something unique, something digital, and it is not interchangeable. I like to say that we are non-fungible people, right? Meaning that every single one of us is unique. There is no copies of any of us walking around this planet. Sure, they're identical twins and they're very similar in many ways, but yes, even identical twins are not interchangeable. You can't just swap one out and it's automatically the same. They have different personalities, they have slightly different looks or vibes, whatever it might be. But also, even if you analyze the DNA of an identical twin, it is 99.9% the same, meaning that there is a very, very minuscule variation. And the rest of us are all very varied. And in many ways, even identical twins have different fingerprints. There are no two fingerprints that are alike. So when we're getting into our smartphones and so forth, they are very different. Same thing with irises, right? You cannot scan more than one iris and they're going to get the same result. Even our eyes or two eyes have very different irises. There are no two that are alike. They're all unique. And that's why identification and stuff using these methods work. So what is an NFT? What is all this stuff? Why is this such an amazing thing? Why do we even have this discussion, right? Well, first and foremost, none or two are alike, right? That's basically what it is. Something digital, usually in the form of art, is what is the most commonly known one. And this one particular is my profile picture on, depending which social media platform, you will see this one as my main profile picture. Now, if you notice, if you go over to X, formerly known as Twitter, you will see that it has a hexagon shape. The reason being is because it is a verified NFT, meaning that I am the owner. There are no two that are alike. So if you click on that, you just pull up some random information, you can actually see right there, anyone with internet connection can actually see that this, who the creator was, it was created by JTunes. Who's the owner? That is me, my profile, Tropic Vibes. And if you want to do a little bit more digging, you can click into it. You can see the contract in which this art was actually created. the blockchain that it is on, the exact ID with it, and so forth. Just some nerdy stuff going under the hood that really no one has to explain right now. However, just know this: if you have an internet access, you can look up all this information and a lot more. What I paid for it, when I received it, how it was transferred, the chain of ownership, and so forth. So why does this matter? Why do NFTs matter? Like, why is this even a thing? Well, first of all, the technology is here. It is not going anywhere, right? It is out of the bag. Pandora's box is open, right? A part of life now at this point, and is part of business, just like email, websites, social media, anything of that nature. It is what it is. It is here. But guess what? Of course, you're going to hear that it's all a scam, right? So why am I taking the time to do this presentation? Why am I going to universities and speaking to various people? Why am I creating all this content with Nifty Business if it's all a scam? Well, first and foremost, I will say that anything with value is going to attract scammers and people who are trying to take advantage of the system. Everything financially, the counterfeit goods, whatever it might be, the scammers are going to try to make their money. However, when it comes to NFTs, digital technology, and cryptocurrency, the blockchain, and so forth, guess what? A lot of what you hear is completely false, because with an NFT in particular, there are no counterfeits, there are no fakes. So if you are a scammer, the last place you want to do transactions is related to the blockchain or within Web3. Just to give you a quick little example, this is a Wall Street Journal article from 2022 of this particular couple right here. They were involved in a massive, I think it was a $4.5 billion scam. They hacked an exchange and stole a whole bunch of Bitcoin, what have you. Anywho, they were caught 2022 by buying a $500 Walmart gift card, trying to do the transactions. And of course, the gift card itself has a history, but also the stolen Bitcoin has a history that is available there on the internet. So when people say this is a scammer's paradise, it is not true. This couple thought it was, and guess what? They were caught, and now they have a long future ahead of them in prison. Scammers and illegal activity, best friend is cash. Why? Because cash is virtually untrackable. Sure, they have serial numbers, but we don't know our serial numbers for our cash. So if someone takes your cash or you lose your cash and it disappears, well, guess what? It is gone. If you buy something with cash, someone runs away, you're not getting it back. There's no bureau to report this as a scam or fraudulent transaction, whatever it is, cash is gone. So criminals love that. That is why you will not see illegal activity, people standing on the street corner, if you will, with a credit card swipe machine. Why? They're going to get caught. There is a record. Just like anything that happens within Web3 on the blockchain with this stuff, it is just not really a thing, right? People think it's a whole scammer's paradise because they think there's an opportunity to make money here. However, have to get into the hype of everything. So what's the big hype about everything? Why is this such a massive hype? Why are people so excited and making all this news? Well, have to give a little history about this. Artist is really, or art is where the focus really took off. And this is a particular piece by a fellow by the name of Beebles. At least that's what he is known within the NFT art space and so forth. He's a digital artist. For 5,000 days, he created every single day an image similar to this, and he was uploading it online. These were free things. He was not monetizing and not making money of it until, of course, he discovered NFTs. He decided to take those 5,000 images, put them into a massive collage, ended up selling it at auction, and it sold for a whopping $69.3 million worth of ETH. And that is a digital currency, a cryptocurrency. Now, once this happened, the world just lit on fire. The news started to run with this, that people are making millions of dollars, millennials are buying all these JPEGs and so forth. All sorts of crazy things started to happen. And everyone thought this was a lotto ticket. Anything that was labeled NFT was time to make money and so forth. So people all rushed into the space, whether they had artistic talent or whatnot. They had no business model behind them. They thought the technology was going to make them rich, sort of like the dot-coms in the 90s, right? Just because you have a website doesn't mean you have a good business behind that website. Well, these people who had no idea how to make art, build communities, run businesses, they all thought they were Web3 entrepreneurs. And well, disaster struck. As we saw, that there was a lot of hype. Now, we're going to separate that, the real world value, from everything that's going on with the hype, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into this really quick and broad overview. Of course, if you're going to have to research, go down this rabbit hole, you're going to have to look up a lot more things. You're just, once you get your beak wet, it's an exciting world of opportunities for people that are in business or trying to build anything, do anything of real world value. This is a space that you're going to end up in, just like the internet, right? Well, first and foremost, if you are in business, this is the place that you're going to end up with. This technology is going to impact your business. If you're going to start a business, if you're looking to be a startup, whatever it might be. Now, just like the value of a contract is not, or I should say, a PDF or the paper that a contract is written in is not inherently valuable. It's what that contract says. If it's $1 million contract and is written up on a piece of paper, well, that is a very valuable piece of paper, but the value is not really in the paper. Just like the NFT, the technology is like that PDF or that piece of paper, but it's actually what is in it that makes it valuable. So, couple NFT use cases separating, all the crazy stuff. We're going to start with some business. Then we're going to go over to pleasure. Of course, the fun things, right? Well, little boring things that nobody really likes to talk about is the DMV. Well, if you look this one up, California is putting vehicle registrations going to be in Web3 in the form of NFTs on the blockchain. And this is something that they're doing with vehicle registration. So any kind of data. Now, that is not something that is going to make anybody rich trying to sell this stuff. Because why? The reason it is there is because it's a publicly available information that cannot be copied, forged, or faked. There's gone are the days of photocopying some sort of document to make it look like your vehicle is registered. Same thing if you are ever involved in a real estate transaction, especially in rural areas. It is a complete nightmare. When I was in upstate New York, some of those old deeds and old towns, just absolute nightmare to try to get to find the verified owner. Some of these things have been passed down and so forth. Well, anywho, Miami is going to be the first municipality that is putting deeds on the blockchain, and that's coming somewhere near you. Of course, that is going to be in the form of an NFT, non-fungible token, something that cannot be copied, duplicated, forged, and so forth. You can see all the information of that rightful owner, all that information to make sure it definitely came from the city of Miami or wherever it was issued, and this isn't some random person copying and pasting information and throwing it up there. Now, a little bit of pleasure. All right. That's some of the boring use cases that you probably won't even hear about. But if you want to start a business in the boring stuff, awesome. That is where the money is. Just like nobody really knows what Oracle does, but they're running businesses all over the world. Anywho, back to the fun things, right? Tickets. Have you ever seen or ever been involved in a transaction buying tickets and not knowing if it is real? Well, there's multiple sitcoms, especially if you grew up in the 90s, seeing, the Fresh Prince and all those different people got in trouble buying tickets. Well, if it is in the form of an NFT, is on the blockchain, you can see it definitely came from whichever issuing venue, the Super Bowl or a Taylor Swift concert, whatever it might be. A few clicks, you can tell if it is real or not because it cannot be faked. It cannot be duplicated. All that information is there publicly available for anyone with an internet connection. Some more fun uses. This is something that I personally own. This is one of the characters, if you will. It's from a particular company by the name of Chibi Labs. This is a fun looking character. People like to think that, oh yeah, these cool JPEGs, whatever. But again, nobody can just copy and replicate this. You can prove that I'm the rightful owner of this particular one. Anywho, you can import this particular character into video games, into videos. I can use it as a streaming mask. I could do it all sorts of things. Anywhere that you see this on the internet, you just know that this particular one is mine. Whether or not you photocopy or try to copy that JPEG and act like it is yours, well, I can prove within a few seconds with a few clicks that this is mine and you're trying to steal it from me. If you are a gamer, you've ever played any kind of games that has like some sort of like in-game assets or whatever it might be, this one's particular. This is something that could be in the form of an NFT, meaning that let's say you decide not to play that game anymore or you just don't want to use that, you can trade it to someone who might find value in it. A lot of times we spend our time and money into these games, whether they're mobile games or PC games, whatever it might be. We buy all these things and we might get bored of it. I can think of countless ones that I used to play in high school and college, and I haven't really been a gamer for the last, 15 years. Anywho, you can sell them to whoever wants to play that game. You can just move on, and it's not like that whole time was a waste. So it could be skins, tools, characters, power-ups, in-game items, anything of that nature. This particular is a Hive Punk. Now, I use this when I'm creating content on the particular blockchain called Hive. I put things out there, and this is how I'm associated with that content I put out. I put that up there, and it is a fun collectible, has that Super Nintendo pixelated graphic, if you will, but you can do the clicks. You can figure out, just like how I showed you, my unique art that I'm using as my profile picture on various social media platforms. You can do the same thing for this. So when I'm on Hive, I'm creating, you can tell that anything I put up there is associated with this, and within a few clicks, you can tell it is mine. Now, with this, Very interesting. If you're into music, that's something in multiple ways. It will be impacting the music industry, whether that be how artists are paid, how various contracts are moving, and so forth. But this one in particular is an NFT from an artist by the name of Sammy Arriaga. Because I own this, when he is the headliner for a concert anywhere in the world, guess what? As he becomes more popular and blows up, I can present this and I can get in for free. I can meet him. And it is just very interesting what is going on there. And it's all because I own this NFT that he created. Now, this is a particular NFT from the Carib DAO. Carib DAO is a organization of really focused on the Caribbean, educating people on Web3. However, there are members from all over the globe, and we're speaking about NFTs, Web3 tokens, and this particular NFT itself is from a Zeely Sprint. A Zeely Sprint is just a incentivized activity for a community. You get rewards for doing certain activity, creating content, and so forth. While holders of the first, or people that hold this NFT participated, in the first sprint, and as time goes on, the rewards will compound. So if you hold the Zeely Quest sprint like this for the first one, and you participate in the second one, and the third one, and so forth, which is about to start, actually starts today at the point of recording this, you are able to have compounding returns by holding that in your wallet. So it is very interesting to note that just by having that, you are the rightful owner and you're rewarded accordingly. So with that said, there are lots of various things that can happen when it comes to these NFTs, what's happening on the blockchain. And let me just pull this camera back up so I could speak to you for a second. Of course, technical difficulties, right? Just to show you what's going on here. And yeah, that was just a quick crash course overview of what's happening within the space. Of course, again, my name is Taj. I create with Nifty Business. Anything that's related to NFTs really is my primary focus. But as you can tell, I'm not just someone who is all about the hype and the hoopla and trying to push things and make money and try to be a quote unquote scammer, as a lot of people like to think on the internet. This is technology that is transformative, right? If you've been on the internet since the 90s, such as myself, really quote unquote dating myself. But as I said, people are in this world right now that have not lived in the world without Web3, blockchain technology, and now NFTs are just an addition to that. So as we're going forward, this stuff is going to be integrated in businesses in countless ways. And so much so that I decided to launch a podcast. I'm creating all sorts of content and doing workshops and speaking about this stuff, because as someone who has seen the days when the dot-coms and everyone was saying the internet was dead, if you have never seen those Good Morning America clips of people laughing, such as Katie Couric, about sending emails, who really needs this? All those different things, just go to YouTube, look that up. Or the interview with Bill Gates that he did on Letterman when he's speaking about the internet and Letterman is just not understanding it. It's laughable now. Look at Jeff Bezos' interviews when they're speaking to him about Amazon, and people thought like this is ridiculous. Like nobody wants to buy books online. Joke's on them, right? So just go over and over and over through history. When technology comes, people are laughing, they're scoffers and so forth, but this is not going anywhere, just like the internet isn't. Like, would you believe that there are countless people, even around the world, you might think or take it for granted if you're in the US or in the Europe or Canada, that everyone's on the internet, but no, that is not the case. A lot of people where I'm currently located right now in Jamaica, around the world, Africa, Southeast Asia, various places, they skipped the whole desktop revolution. They didn't go and start having laptops and stuff. So they're just really coming online through mobile phones right now. So as things are integrated, blockchain technology, NFTs, and various things are coming in, there are so many opportunities for people to build real world businesses with this technology. But also, if you already have an existing business, to integrate it into various things. And just to name drop a few companies that are using NFTs, whether you realize it or not, Starbucks, for example, they have revamped their entire rewards program through this whole stamps program and what have you, and the rewards that they're doing and the benefits. And it's all on the blockchain. They're using NFTs, whether or not they call that up front, but behind it, what's running it is that if you look at Disney executives, just search and see what they're saying, that some of the greatest IP, some of the greatest characters will be coming out of Web3. So think of it like we have the license and the, I guess you'd say the copyright for characters such as Mickey Mouse and all these people that, or all of these characters that have a long history of just creating different things around them. Well, a lot of those are actually expiring. And Disney is looking at Web3 properties to then find their next IP for the future. So anyone thinks this stuff is a joke, why are huge companies like Amazon, even Lowe's hardware store, believe it or not, they're involved in blockchain technology and so forth. Disney, Starbucks, I can go on and on and on, not just social media and like the tech companies, but some really boring things that you wouldn't even think of, such as the vehicle registrations over in California, right? Now, just think if you were that company that built that out and you're offering that as a service to the state of California, right? So that is a business that could have been built right here in Web3 using this NFT technology while everyone is saying all of this stuff is a scam. Well, guess what? They landed a government contract selling this information and using it to service whatever is happening in California and whatever local local municipality that might be having various issues with document keeping and so forth. This is the solution. This is the answer. This is why this stuff matters. And yeah, we have our fun with our profile pictures, the art that's being traded and swapped and so forth. But at the end of the day, this is just the next iteration of anything that is happening on the internet. So if you have been around for the days when people used to tell me, oh, stop playing on the computer and focus on the quote unquote real world because businesses are done face to face, they're not done online. Yes, that is true. But yes, online was very valuable. Then I remember when social media and everything came out that was quote unquote dubbed Web 2. People said people that were putting videos on YouTube could never make a living because that's just cat videos and teenagers having fun. Well, we can see billion-dollar companies being built out of YouTube video creators, right? So just this space is legitimate, right? People will mock new technology. As I said, that's why I put together this little thing, a crash course of it. And if this is anything that you're really interested in, feel free to link up with me, send me a message, DM me, whatever it might be, ask some questions. I can direct you to some great resources, whether it is my own, anything I create with Nifty Business, or it is just a random article on New York Times, Forbes, wherever it might be to show you that this is legitimate, right? This thing has legs and it is not going anywhere. I'd be more than happy to do that. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for entertaining me, or I guess you'd say allowing me to entertain you, if you will, edutainment, as we call it, because sort of entertainment and education mixed together. But anywho, highly recommend that. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you found that interesting and informative. So have a nice day.